Hey, y'all. So, what barriers are holding you back from the life that you want to have? One of the barriers that I like to share about a little bit is pushing past the barrier of fear. And a lot of times we may look at it that fear is something that's, oh my gosh, this is a bad, scary thing and it's challenging. It's really hard to push through. But sometimes the reason why we have fear is actually to protect us. So, hey, y'all, I'm Amy May, confidence coach for entrepreneurs, and I wanted to get on and share a little bit with you about how fear isn't always a bad thing. It can be there to protect us, but it's also something that we can easily maneuver around when that's what it's there for, when it's protecting us from something that really isn't a bad thing. It's just, it doesn't know that it's not a bad thing. And we can actually implement some different steps, some different tools, some different resources to be able to push through those barriers, to break those barriers wide open of fear and be able to step into what we're called to. So, as a digital marketer, one of the things that I've done is tons and tons of personal development and actually got involved with a bunch of other like minded people that were into super, personal development stuff too. And it's been a really exciting journey. But what's been really neat is seeing my growth by associating with these people and these things that had been huge fears for me, and how I actually have learned that I can do this and I can break those barriers and step past this fear and have this different life that I wanted to have, that I desired to have, but fear was holding me back from. So it's been a really incredible journey, and I want to share a little bit about how you can take that journey too. So 3 years ago, I would have had no idea that I would be where I am today and doing the things that I am doing today, because I didn't have the skills, I didn't have the resources, I didn't have the confidence in myself to be able to do some of the things that I'm doing these days. And how did I get those? Honestly, a lot of it was not just from learning how to push past those fears, but it was also learning what things that I needed to do to push back those fears. One of the greatest things was actually learning that as I had little victories on things that I did, it actually deposited like this positive into me, which helped me to have that strength and that courage to stand up against other fears that I had, which helped me to move ahead even more. So, what does that mean for you? And how's this going to help you? Like, what am I talking about? What kind of fears? What kind of things, right? So, I have always, take that back, not always, for a little while when I was young, I was good at math. And then I ran into a situation where we went away for vacation, and nobody thought that I would have any problem missing this big section of important stuff in math in school, because I'd always been an A student. So I was fine. Don't worry about this kid. She'll be great. Well, they introduced new concepts. And so when I came back to school, everybody else was ahead of me. They understood these concepts. They knew these concepts. I didn't. And so for me, I had this fear because I didn't understand what they were saying and didn't understand what they were doing. And unfortunately for myself, I believed that since I had missed that training, that I wasn't going to be able to get caught up. And so I created this limiting fear, this belief within myself that I was no longer good at math and that it was hard for me to do and that I wasn't going to be able to understand and that this was always going to be a challenge. It was a limiting belief that I created within myself. Honestly, it's wild how we can do that, right? How we can have a circumstance or a story create this story now in our life that creates this limiting belief that becomes a challenge for us to get over. And so what I began to see play out throughout my life, throughout time, is I had this decision that I had made that I was no longer good at math. Now, before this, I had actually been kind of in advanced classes for math in elementary school, right? Now all of a sudden here I am telling myself that I'm horrible at it because I didn't understand how to do this one concept. I didn't understand it was fractions, actually, all y'all. So it was incredible because from that time period, maybe fourth grade, up until in high school, when kind of crazy, but I had a home ec teacher who used measuring cups and measuring spoons to help us all visually understand fractions. And I'm a kinesthetic learner. So for me, this was incredible. It helped me out so much. I was able to learn more and understand more in that time just in home ec about fractions than I had in all the years in between where I'd missed that time of learning it in fourth grade, right? And so now here I am. I'm better because now I do understand fractions. But guess what? That limiting belief was already planted in my mind. That limiting belief was already there. And so I still felt that I was not good at math. So when it comes to things with numbers, when it comes to things with having to like even keep records for my business, logging profit and loss sheets, things like that, I get elevated. Like, oh my gosh, like this is work for me. Oh, this is going to be hard. It's going to be so challenging. I'm telling myself the wrong story, even now. But y'all, I'm a confidence coach for entrepreneurs. This is what I do. I share confidence and I help other people. But I don't know if you've ever heard about the mechanic whose car, needs attention, or the horseshoer whose horses need shoed. Well, y'all, confidence coach who needs to work on her confidence about being able to do math. And it was something tonight when I was talking to my husband, literally, y'all, today, okay? Tonight when I was talking to my husband about the fact that I needed to do taxes and I needed to do this other paperwork and the profits and loss and all of this. And I felt myself, and my husband's like, what's going on with you? And I'm just like, there's so much and I'm overwhelmed and I'm just feeling this. And then it dawned on me, what story am I telling myself? And what am I believing? What fear barrier is holding me back? Can I do a simple profit and loss sheet? Yeah. I mean, it's literally logging in numbers, okay? It's nothing challenging. Why am I elevated? Why am I stressed? Why am I worried? Why is this feeling coming at me? And that's when I realized it was limiting belief, which then had me digging in and going in further to find out what had created that limiting belief and how could I get rid of it. So like I said, I'm connected to all of these other people who are like-minded and working on personal development and growing. We've got our digital businesses. We're involved in an educational platform together. And so I have this connection to all these people who have over time poured into me, encouraged me, helped me to push past other barriers. And so I know that I have the tools and resources because I've been using them for various different things, right? So why not use the tools and resources that I have to go ahead and look at this limiting belief and ask, is it really true? Is it really true that I am bad at math? So is there like this ruling, this I don't know, this chalkboard in the sky, like Amanda Francis likes to say, that, says Amy is horrible at math and will never get any better at it? Yeah, no, there's not. And I started thinking about it and realizing, y'all, like I use a calculator, but not always. Like there's times that I take and I use, pen and paper and will subtract or add without going to a calculator. I know, old school, right? But hey, it's good for the brain. And so I'll do that. Even fractions. Like I said, I learned in home ec. So when I'm here and cooking, I don't have to use all the different things. If I'm using, a half cup, I can do it twice to make it, into a whole cup. So I know how to do it. So all I needed to do was to get myself to realize it was the story that I was telling myself. It wasn't actually that there was any reason to be upset or anxious or worried about what I was doing. It was more that I just need to make the decision. This is what I'm going to do. Step in and do it and realize that I don't have to feel that fear or feel that apprehension because I'm perfectly capable. And looked at my press clippings of all the other amazing things that I'm doing and convincing myself that you got this. So y'all, what fear is holding you back? What do you need to break through? What limiting belief do you need to investigate to find out where the root of it was and be able to say, oh, no, that's not the true story in my life because I've got evidence to prove that that is not the case. So y'all, I'm Amy May, confidence coach for entrepreneurs. I would love to talk to you and help you work through your limiting belief. So feel free, make a comment. Can you relate to this story at all? And if you want me to help you out, just let me know. Have an incredible day.